Yo, welcome. I'm your host with the most. So have a toast. Leader Johnson. We are here at Follow Your Sports, man. Listen, man. Before this, we had to talk about turmoil between. It's just part of the game. If it's hype, you gotta talk about it. Eagles went against the Steelers, beat them 27-13. To round it all out, man, it was domination. It was a real domination. It was crazy, man. It was and I keep on saying this, man. I keep on telling y'all certain games if they turn out like this, and this is the type of team. When the Eagles beat the Baltimore Ravens like they beat the Baltimore Ravens, man. When the Eagles beat the Baltimore Ravens like they beat the Ravens, it proved a lot. Now they just come in here and just handle Pittsburgh like it was nothing. And it was crazy because the turmoil was the passing game, and Saquon only had like 63 yards, you know, and AJ and Devontae had 100 yards each. Let's get to this game, man. Let's get to this game. 27-13, battle of Pennsylvania State. I mean, they got down. Steelers defense was aggressive. It just wasn't enough. TJ Watt was coming. The guys was playing. Joey Porter was playing good. But it just was too much, man. Like, it's nothing you could do. This team right here is the best team in football. They're proving it. It's just like steps. Because I got to see things, man. I had to see things when the Eagles won in 2017. When they beat Denver like they beat Denver. I think they had got Jay Ajayi that game. That they handled Denver. And Denver's a defensive team. Uh, Defensive backs is always good. The way they handled Denver, I said, "Oh, they ready. They ready." And I knew they were the Super Bowl team. And even I knew when Nick Foles went out that they could win. They had all the same weapons, and Nick Foles is a productive quarterback, and I just knew he could win the Super Bowl. I 27-13, Eagles beat them at home. Um, Jalen Hurts, man. And I said this was the battle between Hurts and Wilson. Whoever had the better game more than likely was going to win this game, man. I just felt like this was the battle. They both had a 100 rating on the year. They both been winning football. This was the main matchup. They didn't have Pickens. They got Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. They still was there running the football. Patterson tried to do some whatever. Cordell Patterson, if y'all remember him. But Jalen Hurts was 25 for 32. And the crazy part was at one time he was perfect. I think he was like 7 for 7. He was like perfect at 99 yards. He was just like zipping them. And he threw 9.1 yards. If you look at it, Russell Wilson had a solid game. Hurts threw 9.1 yards per play, 2 touchdowns. And then people trying to talk. I'm in the listen. Shout out to the Clock Bar, the Eagle Bar. I'm in the bars in Philly, man, and they talking. Oh man, he got sacked. Man, shut up. Listen, it just happened. He had a 125 rating and a 77.7 QBR. Man, he went to work, man. 45 yards rushing, 15 rushes. So it was like a touchdown. Like he had 3 touchdowns in a day. Like he really had one of them games. He had one of those games. Like Hurts was really just silence everybody. It's crazy because it makes what I said about last game kind of precise. I felt like he was trying to try other targets and try to get used to other targets and go another route. And then he realized how, because he thinking everybody, listen, you go to the locker room thinking about teams and how good they are. And you probably thought Carolina was a walkover, pushover. You could start trying new stuff. And you had to get back on the prowl real quick and play some football because them boys was different. And so now you get AJ saying what he said after the game. And here we go. Hurts under pressure all the time. He answers. This is what he does. He said it when he sat down. He said, "This is what y'all wanted to see." He's starting to get, but listen, he's starting to get tired of y'all, man. Because Hurts used to just be straight, come out his mouth, and say something good, man. He still say something good, but now you feel it in his voice when he be irritated, like when he said no twice to When y'all asked about Sirianni, he was like, y'all talking about old stuff for. Now Hurts starting to, he comfortable. That Philly rubbing off on him. Yeah, Philly is, he like, what? You know what I'm saying? Philly is 6-1 at home. So they one of those teams. But it's crazy because they 6-1 away. Like, it really don't matter with the Eagles. But in this game, Russell was 14 for 22, 128 yards, 5.8 yards. One touchdown, he had no interceptions. He got sacked twice. He had a 36 QBR though, but he had 94.5 rating. Is solid, but he couldn't get no. This defense different, man. It's way this defense play. I know you got the stars on offense, but it's totally not being talked about. I think they're starting to see it week by week, in NFL. But this defense is the best in football. Like they had 13 points. I don't care what. So you mean to tell me this 10-3 team at the time, and you have nobody else that got there but George Pickens? These guys look like small fries. Najee Harris only had 14 yards rushing. Wilson tried to get out the pocket, 13 yards. Warren had 12 yards. This other guy who was they running back, he was productive this year. Calvin Austin, here we go, 65 yards. He was the guy that, he's the guy that can cover a lot of ground, a lot of yards. That's what he do. But he couldn't do nothing. I said Freiermuth was going to be the main guy. He had 3 catches, 22 yards. He had the 1 touchdown, didn't he? I said before this game, I said he going to be the guy that, you know what I'm saying? Like, as the receiver, he going to have to. And it just couldn't. It's as other teams you can beat like that. You could probably beat Baltimore. You dig me? You could beat Baltimore. You could beat a lot of teams like that with the roster you got. But you can't beat the Eagles. The Eagles have that type of team. Patrick Queen had 11 tackles. Alex Highsmith had a sack. He's been having a good season. 8 tackles for Pittsburgh. Minkah Fitzpatrick, 8 tackles. A tackle for loss. I mean, this is a good defense, man. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. He just know how to coach, man. 2 sacks, TJ Watt, man. I just knew it. And him against Johnson was going to be one of the ones. Mulata had the other side blocked down. And you kind of feel like we should have had, I don't know. No, Don Johnson's still a dominant board, but Mulata has been so good this year, man. He has been like dominant. You know what I'm saying? No sacks given up, like crazy. Peyton Wilson, 6 tackles. Oh, Joey Porter. That matchup was definitely evident. I said Joey Porter against AJ Brown, and that's what happened. 5 tackles. He had a pass to play. He played them tough, but you just can't. It's AJ Brown. 5 tackles for Haywood. I mean, what else is you going to Dante Jackson? Who else is you depending on? Who else is you dependent? Beanie Bishop. No, you got these guys is short. These guys were like different. AJ Brown, everybody know 8 receptions, 110 yards, covering so much ground, 13.8 yards per catch. 11 targets on him, 11 receptions for and it's crazy. Devontae has the better game. You don't understand how they have 2 number 1 receivers. And this had to be evident. And they both got hungry. They, you know what I mean? They ain't had this game in a minute. Both of them had 100 yards. You like, whoa. And then you get another weapon. You got Gainwell. Gainwell can catch the ball. Run and catch the ball. He had 3 for 40. Nice catches, man. Nice catches. He had a couple of nice moves, man. Really added to the pass game. I'm glad that happened. And that also is a tribute to the offensive line. I mean, listen, these guys are explosive, and when you give them holes, it's on. And that's the difference between a great and a solid running back. Like you give Saquon, man, he's different. He's 70 yards, this and that. You get Gainwell, you might, get a 13-yard burst, or you know what I'm saying, get him able to do his moves. He's good. He was a big-time running back at Memphis, man. He was a all-purpose back. So him being able to catch the ball is not a surprise. The 22-yarder by Grant Calcaterra, that was like the first one. Set it off, 22 yards, I like how it went down, man. It's crazy how Hurts dissected the whole field. He dissected the whole field. You couldn't do nothing with him. You couldn't do nothing with him, man. He had all weapons everywhere. He had people everywhere. He was just one of them guys. And then all that shit that was being taught, everybody talking, popping off. Yeah, it hurts and it's problems, just like that. It was like it's problems with Hurts. I'm like, what the hell? What are we watching? What are we watching? I mean, he's being careful, and then you get Barkley. So now you feel. I think I will give you this. He got too comfortable. I ain't saying that's a bad thing. He just, I mean, that it was working. He ain't have to start throwing the ball everywhere. People was getting a rock. And I think it got real low. This is the Carolina game. They had like 40 and 30 yards. So it was like, whoa, hold on. You know what I'm saying? They was used to the 60 at least. You know what I'm saying? And, Devontae always a fall back and be quiet. Once AJ says something, then, Devontae, they all talking. But it wasn't like these niggas was all turning on Jalen Hurts, man. It was like it was a family thing. I mean, they all talking. They all talking. You can't think, y'all crazy think the locker rooms don't be having people go at it and then they go out and win, man. Yeah, that's just how it is. And they figured it out. They all figured it out. The Eagles figured it all out. They figured it out together. So now this game is different. The breakout player in this game. Now we're gonna go. One thing I want to say: the defense is crazy. Defense. Let's just go down the line. Nakobe Dean has another 10 tackle game. This time Zach Bond took a day off for 5 tackles, fell back. Nolan Smith was the defensive player of the game. 4 tackles, sack, 2 tackles for loss. He had a pass deflection. He had another 2 quarterback hits. This boy was on fire, man. And I've been telling y'all, it's 5.5 on the year. I've been telling y'all about Nolan Smith Jr. Top 3 recruit out of high school, number 1 on some boards. Been high level player ever since then. He's just one, like Michael was special. That's how Nolan Smith, he's special, man. And when they give him the ball, listen, he's always, even when he ain't sacking somebody, he rushed the pass. He right on the side. Reed Blankenship, 3 tackles. Josh Sweat got him a sack. It's 8 sacks in the years. He 2 total tackles. Chauncey Gardner had a tackle for a loss. Jalen Carter is just a very irritating person to block, man. What are you going to do with him? There's nothing you could do. He passed deflection. Yeah, like it's different. Milton Williams got one in. The cornerbacks. Cooper DeJean had the fumble. He had a couple of mishaps. They was trying to get at him, but they shut people down. Darius Slay, Quinion's going to be the first one out of all of them in the Pro Bowl. It's not even the question. It's like if you don't put him in the Pro Bowl, what are you, blind? Like, you really blind. Like, if you don't put Quinion Mitchell in the Pro Bowl, you blind. Quinion Mitchell is in the Pro Bowl. Now, but the next thing is that you're going to get Darius Slay. Cooper, it ain't that he didn't play. He's a nickel corner, so it takes a lot to get them in when they judging the 1 and 2 cornerbacks. So I say Darius Slay and Quinion are definitely going to the Pro Bowl. That's just how it's going. But yeah, Nolan Smith was the best on, and Hurts is on offense. Hurts answered all the questions. He's supposed to have all the pressure. He almost had a perfect game, man. Like I think it was kind of crazy. His first half was crazy, man. Crazy. And then it was just about Jalen Carter gets into. I think it was the defensive line coach and Nick Sirianni. Listen, y'all better respect Nick Sirianni. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy, man. Lucky you don't get fired, like my boy said. Who said that? Rex Ryan. Lucky you don't get fired right there, man. Start respecting the coach. Start respecting the damn coach, man. Nick Sirianni put this together. Me, that's who. Nick Sirianni, listen, I know how he is. Oh, okay. Well, hold up. How he put it together. Who running the tide? Who running the... You put the soldiers. You go get the soldiers, but somebody got to lead the soldiers. Somebody got to put the soldiers in place. Somebody got to be on front line. Somebody got to be the middle man. Somebody got to be the trick man. All this is when you put soldiers together. This is and Nick Sirianni's leading it. He taking all the mess. He taking all the backlash. He taking all, and that's hard. This Philadelphia. That's hard. That's hard. He is Nick Sirianni, one of my boys. That's one of my. That is it. Like, cause he taking everything. It take a lot to take everything in Philly, man. Like, he don't care what you say. He just going out there winning. He's just going out there winning. So yeah, I just feel like he probably won't get the coach of the year this year, but he's definitely should be up. They didn't even mention him. Like, they're not even mentioning Nick Sirianni and what he had to deal with. Even in 2022, they didn't even want to give him his love then. Like, I know Dabo did and all that, but man, he went to the Super Bowl. Like, it's crazy. I don't know what he got to do. He the most winningest coach, or he has his record. His record is the best, and through 5 since he's been here, since and they've been in the playoffs. Like, it's elite status. It's elite status. Looking at Washington next week. See, it's crazy. Now the way you judge the schedule is kind of like light work. It's like light work. Like, okay, since we did this against Carolina, because Philadelphia has got to the point where they played not so good and still won. That's how you're looking at this good this team is. They won based off their talent, and last year they couldn't. They couldn't do that. They couldn't win just based off their talent. Like, it just couldn't. It couldn't like happen like that. But it did for like 11 games when they was 10-1. That's what was happening. Those coaches couldn't coach up Hurts and them. It just didn't work out like that. It was all messing up. And, they was winning based off, A.J. Brown having over 100 catches, he having a record year and all that, being historic, and then the Devontae Smith doing his thing. But they was winning based just off their talent. Swift had 1,000 yards, first time in his career. Anybody behind this line succeeds. Miles Sanders had 1,200, just the third year, we done had a 1,000-yard running back in a row. Different running backs. And you see how different Barkley is, man. He got more than all of them right now. He got more than all of them ever had right now. I mean, he passed Shady for most all time. Like, it's crazy. Like, so it's different when this offensive line every year is good because it's styling. But this year, they retarded. I mean, you got a top 10 pick, and back then he's 6'8" at guard, and Landon Dickinson 6'5", big guard. I mean, you got a guard, but mostly a tackle, so Cam Jurgens can knock you off your feet, man. He's just a nasty bull. He's gonna be better with time. But Lane Johnson and Melada, man, they're the best in football. That's the best tackle tandem in football. But you can arguably say that this guard tandem, at least top 3 guard tandem. If we're talking, I mean, they are nasty. They are nasty. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I mean, because if you elite, you ain't gonna have 2 people. It's only gonna be 2 people better than you if you that good. So I'm just guessing. Like, they gotta be top 3. Like, these boys is nasty, and Jurgens is one of the best for sure. He's one of the best. He's proved it this year. So this line is retarded. So then they showed it. Whatever that defense had with Pittsburgh was nothing. Like, Watt was doing this. He had 2 sacks, but he also got going against Johnson. Eventually, he got hurt. That's how he got hurt. Going power for power. They was going against each other, and Johnson just as athletic. And one gave in. One body gave in, and that's what happened because they was going at it. Watt got him a couple of times. He did. He got him, but eventually. This dude is athletic, what I'm saying? Strong, Lane Johnson. We talking about a dude who played when his balls was broken, almost. Balls was hurt. I keep saying that. That's the most heroic, the toughest thing I've seen in the playoffs. This dude playing with his balls hurt and he blocking people. It's crazy, bro. Against Washington, you got Brian Robinson, Terry McLaurin. Now they're going against the Eagle team that's getting better and better with games. So what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? I just think now the Eagles are getting more pissed off, and you really not catching them at when they were trying to rest or nothing. They want to win all these games because they want the number one spot anyway. It's too much at stake. There's nothing you can rest on. You want to send messages. You want to so they want to win the Russian title. They want to do that for Saquon. It's a lot going on. The Eagles are not going to just lay down games. They're not going to rest players. It's not going to happen like that. That's just not what they're going to do. You know, they are going to play these guys. This game. They want to go 14-2. They want to go just don't lose no more games. I think they're more motivated each game of how good they can be. And these guys is young too. You see all these arguments. You gotta understand, man. These guys ain't old guys. These guys, young guys. They saying stuff in public. You know, AJ Brown's still in his prime. Like he's one of the young stars. But not he's a vet, but you know, he ain't been around like he ain't like you know what I'm saying? So stuff he'll do that he won't do later on in his career. You know, you just in your prime, you know. And this is a good offense. Like Saquon was like, man, yeah, this is what we can do. He asking me like, man, this is what we do. Yeah, we can beat you passing just like running. He said, you want to stop me? Then we going with the passing. I mean, this is what the Eagles are complete. They're too complete. They're too complete. Like they have everything. You got Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. The only reason the third receivers really ain't got in because you still got to feed AJ and you got to feed Devontae. You still got to feed them. Them dudes got to get the ball. And then, you know, they'd like to put the tight end into the offense. So Grant Calcaterra is getting fed. You know, the tight end always is a big part of any Eagle offense. This is how it is, especially if it's two of them. Just wait till Goddard come back. They're going to be loaded for the playoffs. Like they're going to be healthy for the playoffs, man. They're going to be healthy for the playoffs. I think when you talk about where the Eagles are and how good they are, they're just dominating. That last game against the Steelers, man, listen, just happened yesterday. Yo, that's crazy. They made them look like little babies. And then, you know, like I say, with Jalen Carter and the coaches, like I said, they got into it. It is what it is. I mean, Phillies are passionate from Nick Sirianni saying stuff to the crowd. This is a passionate team. They say things. They gonna say what they say. You know, like vocal team from the motivators to the guys that just speak out. You know, N'Kobe Dean's a heck of a leader. You know, Zach Bond. You know, they speak with their voice. Jalen Carter. You know, Jalen Carter's had his troubles, but Jalen Carter's a superstar, a rising superstar. Soon, I mean, he has 4.5. I think it's just gonna be more sacks. These guys are just gonna get better and better. Like. And we're talking about right now. We're talking about right now. Like they're gonna get better now. Like their climax as a team, and where you reach their ceiling is happening as we speak on their streak. So that's dangerous. The young players like Carter and Jordan Davis are playing their best right now. They're their best. Like they're ascending right now. They're not just staying at a certain level of play. These guys the next week could be a career game. You could see Jordan Davis get 2 sacks next game or 3 sacks. 3 sacks. These guys are that type of talents where they can have those type of games. You just don't never know when you don't never know. Like Nolan Smith, the game before this, didn't have a sack, but he had a sack now. 4 tackles. You know, it's Nolan Smith had 8 tackles in the Baltimore game and a sack. But the next game, you know, he was nowhere to be found. It just depends on, it's like next man up. It's like they go on a carousel. Like he did impact that game. He was, you know, rushing to the quarterback. Say it like that. He definitely impacted because I'm telling you, he always gets to the quarterback, makes the quarterback. He scares quarterbacks because he's coming. He is coming. Pause. No question, this is a heck of a team. But like I say, Washington should be now to the point where if they lose against Washington, they're just slacking. It's not even like they got Washington had a good game and they just ended up outplaying them. No, they're not playing their game. A team like the Eagles, and you're looking at what you want to look at. Detroit. Detroit has injuries, so you can see why some things is happening on their defense. I mean, I don't think they'll be good as the Eagles, man, because you just got to be a different type of monster. But I do feel like they would be better. You know, they just wouldn't be that type of monster. The Eagles are a different type of monster as a defense. But you're looking at Detroit, and I just don't think they beat the Eagles. Now look at the Eagles now. I mean, all these guys is young, and they was like different type of guys, man. Carter was supposed to be a generational talent. He is. Nolan Smith, generational prospect. You know what I'm saying? And heck of a player. Could have been a top 5 pick if he was healthy. Jordan Davis. His thing was the combine, his size and how he moved. He was just like, whoa. He was with the historic Georgia defense. They've been infamous, one of the best defenses in college football history. Like, these guys was different. We're talking about 2 championships. And Jordan Davis, you know, running the 4.7 at his size, it's still crazy to think he runs a 4.7, man. Like, his things he can do. It's going to be interesting to see how good he gets being around all these other guys that rush the quarterback, what he learns, what he adds to his game. It's going to be good. And Milton Williams needed this start. He needed to be where he's at, and he shows 5.5 sacks and 17 tackles. It's ridiculous. So that front 7 is monstrous with Nolan Smith and Josh Sweat. They're monsters, man. Like, that's 5.5 and 8 sacks right there. They both had their sacks. Like, that's a treacherous. And then you look at your middle linebackers, and Zach Bond and Dean got 3 and 4 sacks, 3 and 3.5. Like, yo, that is crazy to look at where this team is at. Looking at Cooper Dean is he's locking down number 1 receivers. You got he's shutting down whoever he covering. He's had some mistakes a couple of games, but you don't be the whole game. You know, you just see him being young, and that's going to happen. Quinyon Mitchell, did it. You know what I'm saying? But Quinyon is shutting people down. And Darius Slay is like, ain't nothing more happy than you not having to be the main guy, and both the guys around you can shut down. Now it makes your job easier. When you come around, they come to you, and they got to throw to you. They going to pick their poison. You got to pick your poison. Cooper, Slay, or Quinyon. You got to pick your poison, and either one will shut you down. Now we looking at Isaiah. Isaiah's good. You know, you go there, then you forget about him. You want to probably go pick him. Then he ready. You know, he probably ready for this matchup. So it's big. Philly, like the Eagles, are the best team because they complete, man. They complete. Like, they can do everything. They can do everything. They can do everything. They can throw the football. They can run the football. They got the best line. And the defense right now, the secondary is what it is, man. Anytime you throw to their secondary and they shut people down, it makes the pass rusher better, because now it gives the pass rusher more time to sack because you can't throw to the receivers. So this is a masterful for Vic Fangio. Masterful. So that's big. But yeah, the next game is I just think these 3 games, I think the hardest one might be the Cowboys. I'm going to have to put it on now. I don't think Cooper is going to do anything. I just think the defense with Micah Parsons is going to be something to watch. But it's like they'll blow everybody out. I think in the New York games when Barkley breaks the record, I think they're going to design the whole game to have Barkley just cut up on New York. I think it's not even a question. Are they going to want to shut down Dallas? You know, the first time we didn't shut them out in a minute for the season. And now Washington, they're going to be, because they're 9-5. So they're going to be trying to listen. They're trying to get their 10th win. They're going to be trying to play hard. Philly, this is another good win to get, because you're getting a team that want to win, like Baltimore. They wanted to win their game. They was 8-4, and we still clapped them. It was over. It was over, 8-5. So this is another one. We got to get Washington, even when they want to win. We got to make them 9-6. I mean, even Pittsburgh wanted this win. Pittsburgh wanted to get over their hump. And Philly said whatever. And listen, passing game was on the plate. They knew Philly was going to be passing that ball, and Philly still ate them up. So this was a big game, huge game. This was the last of the competitive games where people was like, if Philly beat all these teams, it ain't. Well, they dominated both Baltimore and Pittsburgh. If that don't tell you Super Bowl, I don't know what do. Like what they dominated them. Baltimore had one of the top offenses in the league. They just treated them like stepchildren. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, shout out to the stepfathers and stuff. What I mean is the other kid, like, they ain't your biological. This is you got the real games and you got the big games. But they treated it like it wasn't even a big game. They treated Baltimore like they wasn't even a good team. Lamar Jackson didn't look like an MVP. Derrick Henry did not look like he had some good runs, but he looked like subpar. So when you go to Pittsburgh and you got Russell Wilson, I know George Pickens not there, but you mean to tell me they look like nothing? They look like they didn't look like they won 10 games. Supposed to look like you won 10 games. They didn't look like they won 10 games, man. So you're looking at Devontae and AJ, they are two number one receivers. Two number one receivers. We're looking at the stats on the year for the Eagles. And we're talking about now, why is Jalen Hurts not mentioned in MVP talks? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why is Jalen Hurts not in MVP talks? Now they need to start talking like that. He has 2,892 yards passing. He's thrown for 69% of his passing. He has 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 104.5 rating. It's time now. What do he have rushing? That's another big thing. 589 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns. Why are we not talking about Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversation? Why is Jalen Hurts? That is crazy. That is crazy. I don't know what to say. Josh Allen is having a great season. We look at what he had to work with Buffalo. We look at what they didn't have. He's having a great season. He's always been a talented quarterback. But it's another thing. You got two quarterbacks. One's been to a Super Bowl, one hasn't. That's the first thing. Jalen Hurts was an MVP candidate before Josh Allen was just having this season like this. All right, now look at both of their seasons. One has a 12-2 team. And no matter the weapons, he's operating. Listen, we talking about playing, right? We talking about winning. Because the year before, they was talking bad about Hurts. Well, now he's playing like that. So you got to give him his credit too. His season is MVP. He need to be in the conversation. Him, Barkley, Josh Allen. And at this time, Lamar Jackson still got to be in the conversation. Just because but if we talking about Jalen Hurts should be in the MVP conversation. I don't even get that part. Like I'm serious. Like that's crazy. Defensive player of the year for sure. Zach Bond is in that conversation. If we're talking about what Zach Bond is doing this season, he has 134 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss, 4 forced fumbles, 1 interception. He's been a beast. But don't forget about Nakobe Dean, who just had 10 tackles. He had 116 tackles, 3 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss, just like Bond. 4 passes defense. Bond got 3, 1 interception. Like it's almost identical, except for the fumble, forced fumble. Dean got 1 forced fumble, and Bond got 4. It's just just letting you know how high level they've been playing, man. Like 70 tackles for Blankenship. Carter Johnson got 57. Carter Johnson's been great. 9 passes broken up, man. He's been good this season. Quinyon Mitchell with 10 passes broken up, 41 tackles. Still ain't get the interception. I thought this was the game. Him and Cooper both got 41 tackles. It's crazy. They both got 41. Cooper has 6 passes defense. Quinyon has 10. It's 2 shutdown. You got 2 shutdown corners. 2 shutdown corners. Jalen Carter, 4.5 sacks, 39 tackles. 12 tackles for a loss, 5 pass defense. I mean, that is different. You got your guy up front, defensive tackle, 5 pass defense. He got just as much as Cooper DeJean. Nolan Smith, Nolan Smith, man. Nolan Smith, 5.5 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss, two pass defense. He's been a monster. 37 tackles this year. He's been when they need 35 tackles for Josh Sweat, 8 sacks. It's crazy. Isaiah Rodgers, 2 passes defense. He's been solid, you know. But sometimes he gets taken advantage of. He's 5'8". Jordan Davis, 20 tackles, man. But you don't tell the story of how his season has been. He only has a sack, gets 2 passes, but people don't want to run into Jordan Davis. They see you. You don't want to run into a wall. Nobody wants to. When you hand the running back the ball, he's looking at people. And when you see this 6'7" guy, he makes people change direction and makes them take on other people. And they run into Jalen Carter and they run into Milton Williams. The same thing Jalen Carter does for pass rushing, that's what Jordan Davis does for the run game. That's how good Jordan Davis is, man. Like he's that good on the run. Like he's really that good. Jomo's laying solid. You gotta give a shout out to McCollum. Christian McCollum been good as a backup. But listen, it's crazy right now. And like I say, Dallas is the one I think they're going to dominate. We're going to have the toughest time. Out of all 3 of these guys, I think Dallas is going to try to, take advantage. They got better players. They got a better coach. I just feel like that'll be the tough game. And then the way they got embarrassed in Dallas, they're going to try to come out. But I think Philly is still dominate them. You have proved to me you can beat this squad, man. This is one of them teams. Let's talk about football. This is one of those teams. You have to beat them first. And saying they can't lose. They just got to lose. They got everybody mostly is healthy. Okay. They're young. They fly around the field. Like you have to. I go into when I do the with Cool Cat and we be on Blitz tape. Man, listen. We go into this talking about the game, right? And then I say something, and it happens. I say the goods and the bads, and it happens. And then the thing about that is that, like, I do give it a chance. Like Baltimore could be, a tough game, and we win it, and you still good. But if you dominate this team, you're a Super Bowl contender. You know what I'm saying? And they did. Now we're talking about Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh offense is, defense is a killer. That offense made them look like nothing. I mean, they was pass rushing. They put pressure on Hurts, but them guys too good, man. Devontae Smith run routes too good. Probably the best in the league. And it's arguable for sure. But Devontae Smith might be the best route runner in the league. And A.J. Brown might be besides Mike Evans, man, he might be the worst mismatch problem in the league, man. You talking about a guy at a certain, like he just can't mess with him. He's too physical. He runs routes. He can outrun you. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Kenneth Gainwell came out of nowhere and said, "Y'all forgot about me." Y'all forgot. He's had some good moments. He had a good training camp, so he had some good moments, man. He's really showed the type of player that you want behind Saquon. That's what you want. He can catch just like he can catch. Saquon can catch the ball. He can run. He can't listen. Saquon's a different animal. We're not comparing. We're just saying that's a good guy to have. He can eat up yards. He can catch the pass too, because that's another pass catcher. As you can see, 3 catches for 40 yards. Boom. And he had some moves, didn't he? I think he saw Saquon do that spin move and said, "I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do this." You see the spin? Whoa! He made the dude spin. He spent the dude out his soul. He flew. He flew. When Mortal Kombat, when you hit a person with an uppercut and go excellent. That's what it's saying. Like the dude. Did you watch that spin again? Watch how high he flew all the way to the side. Like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Just like when Saquon spun that ball before he jumped over backwards. He spun the first dude. Spun him out his soul. Spun him out his soul. Whew. Made him feel like he could play football. Like, am I playing the right sport? Am I playing the right sport? Yeah, this Eagle team is exciting too. It's like, I mean, think about it. With the Saquon doing the backwards jump, right? That was. Did I just say that? It don't even sound right when you say it, man. Backwards jump. But Devontae did the catch with one hand. One hand, man. I mean, look what Kenneth just did. Look what I just seen. Listen, this is a good team. This is a good team. So listen, y'all. I'm out. Follow Leader Sports, man. I just wanted to come through, bless y'all, talk with y'all. The Eagles or that team. Now these last three games is gonna be easy. They should be. I mean, Washington's tough. Dallas is eating. They're still trying to get something. But you ain't making no mistakes against the Eagles, man. You can't come through and make no mistakes. You see we can make mistakes. And it could almost cost, but it was two mistakes early in the game, and it didn't cost the Eagles. They made up for it. So they good with them. And so I'm out. Listen, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow on Instagram, man. We got a High Level Sports is the brand. We got a cool team, man. Shout out to Hardcore Sports Network, man. We doing it. We got like a Avengers, the Avengers, man. It's like these guys get up every day and work, and they get up, make the episodes. It'd be 1,000 episodes. It's like the Avengers. It's like every sport. It's fun. It's good to see. I like to see work and success, man. So it's like, it's me, man. You're going to see me do a lot of stuff. I got High Level Sports talk coming. I got a lot of hosts. HBCU Player of the Year. Got to have him on here, man. Eric Phoenix, man, quarterback, South Carolina State. Talk to him, man. Talk to some guy, Elijah Mobley. We gonna get it going, man. It's a lot of people. I just been getting things together. High Level Sports, my website. I'm talking with business people, developers, and I'm about to have that site up real soon, man. I'm about writing articles on my own site and just put the brand out, man. Just trying to do new things. That's what I've really been doing. Taking care of business. So, man, here we go. So I'm out, y'all. This is Leader Johnson, man, and